Hi, hello everyone. I'm Tim, a foreign student from Shenzhen University, and glad to meet you guys here. As a typical preaching philosophy enthusiast, I'd like to share it with you. Here is a question. How much do you know about this kind of philosophy?
Hi friends, do you know anything about the philosopher before Qing Dynasty? And this time I'm in Shenzhen University. We will invite some friends to answer that question. So do you want to know their answers?
I'm sorry. My teacher taught me once, but I forgot.
I'm a friend of philosopher. I want to know the difference between the Chinese people and the Western people.
I am from the country of Thailand, so I have a little confused about Kongzhi and Xuanzhi because I have little knowledge about the philosophy.
Yeah, our teacher told us a little about the Asian philosophy, but I'm really interested to know the difference between the Greek philosophy and Asian philosophy.
In this class, I will talk about the key to understand the preaching philosophy, concept of a heaven and a man. Thinking in Confucianism and Taoism, you guys can scan the QR code at the bottom left screen to get the textbooks. In order to reduce the cross-cultural barriers and have a better understanding of preaching philosophy, the source of Chinese culture, I will compare it with ancient Greek philosophy, which is considered as a source of Western culture, and give a superficial discussion about the different thinking patterns of concept of heaven and man in both philosophies. Preaching philosophy and ancient Greek philosophy are both arose in a slavery society and have the same point of view, asking the ultimate concern of the human, but the ways to explore and thinking pattern is totally different. Preaching philosophy focuses on the perspective of origin theory of harmony between the man and the nature. To understand the relationship between the man and the nature, the ancient Greek philosophy has a different thinking way with the division of the subject and the object, different thinking way with the division of the subject and the object on the relationship between the man and the world. As it's hard to understand, I want to show you some pictures from the perspective harmony between man and nature, the people and heaven. Here is some kind of consistency and integrity, whereas the perspective of subject-object dichotomy mainly refers to the own attitude one held a human dealing with the environment, distinguish himself from the object within the meaning of their actions, himself as a subject of a behavior and the behavior object as a guest. So, what is the concept of heaven and a man in preaching philosophy? The most representative one in a pursuit of harmony, unity, and heaven view in the Confucian philosophy, which represent the preaching philosophy, focuses on the exploration of inner world and advocates the internal and external coordination, and strives to achieve the harmony between the heaven and a man. And this becomes a fundamental concept of the traditional Chinese philosophy of heaven and a man. According to the understanding, heaven and a man are initially all in the one, and to reach the extent of the highest ideal of life. Confucius, who is representative of Confucianism, had agreed to his students saying, "In the last month of the spring, with all the dress of the season are all complete, along with 5 or 6 young men who have assumed the cap, and 6 or 7 boys, I would wash in the river, enjoy the breeze among the rain altars, and return to home sighing." Confucius thought that a man with felicity should be in harmony with nature. In addition, the heaven point of view manifest in many ancient Chinese myths. Knowing about the myth can help you to understand the heaven philosophy, such as Lotus Lantern, Chengxiang, whose mother was a fairy who broke the heaven's rule and married mortal. She was put in the prison at the foot of the mountain Hua, and her brother took her Lotus Lantern. Several years later, Chengxiang grew up and knew the truth, and he began a journey and saved his mother. Chengxiang stole the Lotus Lantern from his uncle Erlang, but the Lotus Lantern is really difficult to control. He realized heaven and a man at the last moment before the plan almost failed. With combining the lotus lantern with himself, he acquired infinite power and split the mountain high and recused his mother. Dong, no sleep time! Here comes the question. Anyone who wants to answer the question at the left can scan the one more QR code at the bottom left to get into the interactive answering interface, where you can get the answer and more interesting questions. Hey guys, welcome back! Did you finish the interesting question? I bet you can learn a lot. The QR code is always be right in there. So let's come back to our topic. We just have talked about the thought of harmony between man and nature of preaching philosophy. But the two-point subject and object having concept in ancient Greek philosophy is different from preaching philosophy. Ancient Greek philosophy focuses on natural and scientific knowledge of the external surge, and therefore bound to have a demarcation between external things and inner world. In respect of the ideas kind, for example, Confucius thought good conscience of endowment in humanity is the source of kind. That is to say, kind comes from the inner world, from the moral demands of the self. Then all beings, this extended to love all things on the earth. In the thought of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, goodness is closely related to human relation. He agrees that the idea of the goodness is to give the object the truth and give you cognitive ability to the cognitive subject, and sees the goodness in a rational behavior of what the subject does to the object. Actually, although the ancient philosophy and the preaching philosophy has a sharp difference on the thinking model of concept heaven and man cognition, there is a distinctive similarities in origins to some extent. It is a pity we cannot have any more discussion about this due to the time limits, and if you're interested, you can download the textbook to learn more. Finally, I hope the comparative study of the Greek philosophy and the preaching philosophy can help you to learn something about concept of a heaven and a man, of Confucianism, of preaching philosophy. Thanks everybody, see you next time.